Hello, in this video we are going to learn about transfer learning using the inception model for the fruits dataset in case of binary classification. And these are the important packages we want to import before moving ahead. So after this we want to check the present working directory. So my present working directory is content, and now I want to drive mount. So this means I want to bring Google Drive into my this folder here in the file section, and we are going to mount it. So it is asking me to go to this URL, and after logging into my Gmail, I am going to put my authorization code here. So once I bring my code back here, and I can give my input of authorization code and press enter. So yes, my drive has been mounted. How can we check? We can click this refresh button and see that my drive is here, and within my drive I have these transfer learning models. We will be using Inception v3. So this Inception v3 has been downloaded by me from this GitHub page by F. Collett, Francois Collett, deep learning models. So I will be using this NoTop H5. Now within this, no top means that we do not want to train the upper half, maybe more than half of it, but we want to focus only on the lower layers of the model, maybe the final layers, so that we can just give our data as the input and do some processing about deep learning and learning of the weights for our data set, but without changing the initial weights in which it has been trained on a very big data set. So once this Google Drive is mounted and we have got this model here, we can simply give the path using this command F get cwd function, and this path. So I have given here the path of this inception file, and after this we can import the model. So we can do it by from tensorflow.keras.applications.inception v3. So inception v3 is the model which has been predefined in the keras, and we are going to import it as inception v3 model. So we are going to use this path inception weights. These weights that have been already defined will be used by us, so that we do not need to train again on the 10 million images of ImageNet. Yeah, and then after that we have to define the pre-trained model. So in that we are going to put the input shape as 115 to 115 to 3. We do not want to include the top of the layers, and initially we are not giving any weights, but for the weights part we are going to use this local weights file, so in which we had defined this path inception. All the downloaded weights will be used, and then I want to make all the layers in the pre-trained model non-trainable. So we do not want the layers to be trainable, we just want to play with the lower half of the model. And so after I print the summary, it will be huge because it was a very huge model of inception. And once we do it, so this is the model which has been printed. So there are total number of parameters are 21.8 million, and non-trainable parameters are also 21.8 million. So initially we have given the commands that we do not want to train any of it, but yes, we want to play with it. This is a huge model to work with, and we do not want to disturb the initial layers. So this is how it starts. So we started with the size of 115 to 150. So after coming to the bottom part, we can decide from where we want to give our data as the input, and from where we can do the training. So in my case, I have decided to work from this mixed 7 layer. So mixed 7 layer has a output size of 7 into 7 into 768. So after this there is these convolution layers, and again there are some, after mixed 8 there are some convolution layers. So I want to play with these last 2 or 3 convolution layers. So I'm going to work with mixed 7. Okay, so in that, now I want to write last layer equal to pre-trained model dot get layer mixed 7. So this is the layer name from which I want to give my data as the training part, and then last layer output shape is being printed. It should be 7768. So this is 77768, and we can also take this output as the last output. So if I run it, it will be giving this last layer output shape as none 77768. So now I want to define my model, and I want to play with it using the RMS prop optimizer. So this is how we are going to do it. The flattening of the output layer to one dimension. We want to give the input image, and we want to flatten it, right? Because flattening will help us in doing better deep learning. So using the dense layer, in which we are using 1024 units, and also we are going to take dropout as 0.2, so 20% of the layers will be dropped at random. And also now we want to use sigmoid layer. Why sigmoid layer? Because we want to do binary classification between the fruits. So I'm going to use the fruits dataset, which is available to me here in the dataset section, fruits.zip. So we are going to use that for the binary classification. We are going to unzip it and play with it after this defining of the model. So the learning rate of the RMS prop is 0.0001. So the loss function is binary cross entropy, and the matrix is accuracy. Now after defining these things and using these things for the model summary, we will get some things updated from the initial layers. So initially we had everything as the non-trainable, but now we have some trainable parameters also. All right, and so after this, uh, because we have trained it from this mixed 7 layer, so we removed some of the layers after that. uh, After mix 7, we have this flattening and all the dense layer and the dropout we had given. So many layers have been removed, which I showed you earlier. So after mix 7, only 4 layers are there: flattening, dense, dropout, and again the final dense prediction using single unit. So now I'm going to play with the dataset we want to use. So we can bring the dataset from the Google Drive and import it using these things. So this is the path dataset, and then I want to define the file name and unzip it. So this is how we can unzip. So these 4 or 5 lines can be used to unzip the file, and then I want to define the dataset path and finding the number of files. So after defining the path of apple and banana folder, we will be getting the values, number of images in the apple and banana folder. So after running this, so you can check here that if I refresh it, we have got the fruits folder here, and we have unzipped it. Apple has some images in it, and similarly even banana has some images in it. Now I want to get the list of all the files available within that apple and banana folder. So we can use this os.list dir command. This will put all the names of the images into this apple files and banana files variables. So in these are the strings now, and uh, these apple files and banana files are holding the unique names of all the images. Now what we want to do is we want to do the training and testing partitioning. So we do not have any train and test folder here, so we want to define the train and test folder and put the images 80% in the training folder and 20% in the test folder. Now after running this, number of images in apple were 492 and in banana were 490. Now if we refresh it, we have got the training and test folder. So within train, apple has some images in it, and even banana has some images in it. Similarly, even in testing, so in the test folder, apple has some images, and the banana even has some images. So after this partitioning, now what we want to do is we want to check how many number of images are there. So this is how we are going to define some of the variables: train apple directory, validation apple directory, and the file names. So we will be counting all the file names, and the expected output should be 394, 393, 98, and 97. So training apple image file names are total of 394. So 393 is the length of the training banana file names. Similarly, validation for apple and banana file names. So when we print it, the number of images are like this. So total number of images does not change, but yes, because of partitioning 80/20, so 80% of the images are in these folders of 394 and 393 out of 492 and 490. So this is the 20%. So now we want to use this image data generator to use the uh, augmentation part. So this is how we are augmenting our data set, and also we are rescaling it for the normalization purposes. So 1 by 255 is the rescaling factor, so that all the pixel values come in the range of 0 to 1. But for the test data set, we do not want to augment it, we just want to rescale it to the 1 by 255 value, so that all the pixels are in 0 to 1 range. Also, now I am going to use this float training images in batches of 20. So yes, we can use this batch size of 20 here, uh, or also this flow validation images of batches of 20. So we can use a different batch size and check if our model is working fine. Alright, and so this is how the expected output should be, and it will be. So once we run it, the number of images found are 787 and 195 in the two classes for the train generator and the validation generator. Now we want to use a callback function to, if we reach 99% accuracy, we want to cancel our training, we do not want to train it longer. So using this, we can generate this model fit generator using the train generator data and the validation generator data. So what we are going to do is we are going to use step per epoch as 10, number of epochs should be 3, and validation steps 10. So all of these things are being used for building the model. So let's train it. Now you can see that our accuracy has reached 99%, so our training has stopped, and our loss is this, accuracy is this, validation loss is this value, and the validation accuracy is this value. Alright, so this is how we do the training. Now we want to plot the values of accuracy, validation accuracy, loss, and validation loss. So let's see how it is getting us the output. We have plotted here using these values. So we have got the training accuracy and the validation accuracy being plotted here. So the training accuracy is the red line, so our accuracy is improving, but the validation was 100, nearly 100% from the first epoch only. So you can verify here. So from first epoch only, validation accuracy had hit 100%. So this is how we can generate this training accuracy and validation accuracy graph. Now because they are meeting here, so it is not overfitting. Alright, if it had gone to the opposite direction, then it might have been overfitted. Thank you.